Does the Osmo Pocket 4P support live streaming? Yes, it supports major live streaming platforms. One of the other cameras specifically said it didn't have live streaming, but here confirmed. How good will that be? Don't know. If you did want to check these details, all you have to do is go to the DJi website. I'm currently looking at the Singapore store. I would normally be on one of these others, I think New Zealand. It is not showing for me on the New Zealand store. I'd say China, Hong Kong, Singapore, but not yet showing on the Australia or New Zealand sites. If I was to click over onto that one, then the page would reload and we'll see that it is not yet available in other locations, but you can indeed view the details of the Osmo Pocket 4P where it is available at the moment just by changing the region. Go back to Singapore, or there was Hong Kong. You'll be able to read up on what this camera can do. So I went to the FAQ section for Chai General and found it there. So does the Osmo Pocket 4P support live streaming? What platforms does it support? And it does there say yes, it supports major live streaming platforms. So great news. What do you think? Will you be getting one? I thought this was pretty exciting. A lot of us were thinking, yeah, it should, but will it? Don't know. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Like with the 360, it didn't have it on launch. They did eventually roll out a firmware update for the 360 so that it can do, I think they call it single lens mode. I've just jumped over to the Pocket series comparison page. We've got the 4P, the 4, and also the Pocket 3. Also what their prices are in US dollars. So we've got 609, 473, and 429. Going to assume that these are just the standard, not the creator combo. I did a quick Google and that would make the 4P a little over 1,000 New Zealand dollars, but not bad because I think the Pocket 3 was around 900 New Zealand dollars standard version, and then the creator combo bumped it up by about $200-300. So it could be looking at around 1,500 New Zealand dollars. The Luna Ultra here locally for the creator combo, I think it's around 1,800. So they may be undercutting the competition. With other details, so we've got touchscreen, looks basically the same. Okay. Brightness is a little brighter, similar to the 4P. Well, the same as the 4. Number of microphones, 3. Dimensions, a little bit larger. It has gone up in weight, but not massively, not as much as I thought it would be. So we're looking at 230 versus 190 versus 179. That could make it or break it for you, but considering what it can do with the extra zoom, not too bad, I suppose. Was it 70, 30, about 60 grams heavier? Doesn't sound that much heavier, but I've heard people who have compared them side by side that, you know, it was noticeable. They were quite happy. Either, I think the Pocket 3 or 4. Camera, I got the wide angle, 1 inch, and then we got the medium tele lens, 1/1.28 inch CMOS, wide angle lens, 20mm equivalent, no difference there. Aperture the same, got a 60mm equivalent with the second lens, f1.8 on the aperture. Is the medium tele better? f2, f1.8. Pretty close though. Higher numbers on ISO range for the 4P, 25,600, whereas it only went up to either 6,400 or 12,800. So it could be, from what I can tell, better in low light. Could be grainier, don't know, would need side-by-side comparisons. Yeah, they've made quite a bit of improvements there with the ISO, with the shutter speed and everything. Image size looks the same as the Pocket 4. Video resolution, 4K, well, we just want 1080p, so that is us. And if we could do 30 or 60, which you can, great. Okay, we'll keep going. Bitrate, a slight increase, but the same as the 4. So battery's the same as the 4. So at 1545 mAh, and then the Pocket 3 was 1300. So even though you got the 2 extra lenses and everything, yeah, battery life, from what I could tell, the Pocket 4 should be better battery life than the 3, and then maybe slightly reduced on the 4P because it's the same size battery in the 4 and the 4P. Yep. So operating time, there we go. Now the Pocket 3, 166 minutes. The Pocket 4, 240 minutes and 210. So half an hour less in operating time. Not too bad considering you got the 2 cameras. This is at room temperatures of 25 degrees Celsius, 1080p 24. Looks like the same tests on all. Wi-Fi off, screen off, data is really infants only. Okay, yeah. Charging time about 18 minutes, 80%. So a little bit longer than the Pocket 3, and 32 minutes to 100%. It's the same charging time for both the the 4 and the 4P. Okay, we're back on the homepage of the Pocket 4P. Want to see what they're going to highlight in terms of its features. So features a 1-inch wide-angle camera with 17-stop dynamic range. I've been hearing that a lot amongst the influencers and folks who had early access to the 4P. 60mm lens, okay, we read that already. Stabilization, active track, all good. This looks surprisingly like the Lunar Ultra, unless they kind of borrowed from each other's pages, because the Lunar Ultra has a very similar like layout or magazine. It's like a magazine, all these different size squares and whatnot. Mid tele lens, so got 16mm format equivalent 1.8-inch aperture up to 12 times zoom. All new 1-inch CMOS 17-stop dynamic range 20mm format equivalent f2.0 aperture. So that's just saying that it's going to be better overall in the highlights and the shadows. You're going to see more detail. The more dynamic range that a camera has, it's going to do a little bit better in those scenarios. Otherwise, the highlights that could be blown out, or in the shadows you just can't see any detail, it just could be completely black. So it's just going to be able to see a little more in those extreme ranges with more dynamic range. So I've just been seeing that number go higher and higher over the years with new gears and new gadgets and whatnot. 12 times zoom. I'm assuming that's from the 20mm. So if the 20mm is 1 times, what is it, 240? 240mm quiff? That would be pretty good. But I'm thinking that most of that would be digital. Yeah, so 16mm is that default, and then when are you starting to get lossy zoom? Active track always centered, always getting a little bit better with the active track. The Pocket 3 was okay. It would lose you, I found in live streams, but they seem to have improved that with the 4, and I guess that would have improved it slightly with this one. All focal length tracking, multi-person tracking, and spotlight follow, okay. Ample built-in storage, that was another highlight. 103 gigabytes of storage, nice. Fast charge, 18 minutes, 210 minutes runtime, that is good. Yeah, what's that, a little over 3 hours. More pro possibilities. Got webcam, time code, so a natural fit for live streaming, online meetings, and video chats with steadier video and clearer audio. They got a wired into the camera, into the computer there. Time code, more expansion options. So I got the fill light, okay, so that's optional extra. ND filter set, frame tap, so that's optional. That gives you a wireless controller. I'm thinking that they're going to make that in the next version of this. The screen will be detachable. A lot of their gimbals, they've been doing that. Accessories, they got all sorts there. What is that rectangular thing? What is that? Battery? Storage? Don't know. And then we've got comparison, which we've already looked over. This looks a little nicer though. Anything that's different. So we've got the 2 lenses. Oh, okay. So the 4 was 14 stops of dynamic range, whereas we're up to the 17 with the 4P. Video specs, 4K 240. So optical zoom 3 times up to 12 times digital. So 3 times, so that is the 60mm. So once you go above that, then you're into digital. Too bad they don't have what is lossless. So perhaps, I wish they could have told us if anything above 3 was lossless. Active track up to 12 times zoom, intelligent. I'm just going to skim through the FAQs, check to see if there's anything else I may have missed. Okay, I like some of the wording in here. They're very careful about what they're saying. Do the 2 lenses of the Pocket 4 offer the same image quality? In that one, they kind of avoid the question. They say that there is a switching transition is smooth and natural, effectively minimizing any visual shifts. They don't really say outright that, you know, the main lens, main camera is better, but I think they are. They kind of say that, yeah. But interesting choice of words there. Is the 60mm mid telefocal length on the Pocket 4P achieved through an optical lens or digital crop? A dedicated optical lens is not a digital crop of the wide angle, ensuring exceptional clarity and rich details. Okay, minimum object distance supported by the 4P. For the wide angle, it's 9 centimeters. For the tele lens is 20 centimeters. What are the main differences between the 4P and the 4? Wide angle, it's a new 1-inch sensor for upgraded image quality. We have the wide angle features a new 1-inch stacked CMOS sensor. Blah blah blah, 17 stops. High contrast scenarios, we mentioned that already. Retains highlight shadow details. New 60mm 1.8 tele lens for superior portraits to approximately 6.3 on a full frame camera. Okay. Dual cameras paired with digital zoom offer versatile focal length range. So 1 times is 20mm, offers broad field of view. 3 times is 60mm on the tele lens. Video zoom is increased from 4 times to 12 times. Wait, photo zoom increased 2 to 9 times. Least photo zoom? Faster shutter speeds. So it's upgraded from 1/8,000 seconds to 1/16,000. Other specifications remain identical to the Pocket 4, including touchscreen, microphones, battery capacity, etc. Can I use the Osmo Pocket 4P to charge my phone? No. I suppose with 1500 mAh, it wouldn't last very long because a phone's capacity is usually around 4,000, 5,000. So yeah, it'd be a bit much to ask of a pocket camera to also charge your phone. It'd run out pretty quickly. So I get it. It would be nice though if it could. But yeah, it looks like you'd need a separate battery bank to charge your phone and also this if you needed to. I'm thinking three or something hours, you should probably be fine. And further to that, they said, can I use the Pocket 4P while charging? Yes, but we recommend using it after it's fully charged. The Pocket 4P draws power directly from the power input while recording and only charges the battery when recording has stopped. We should be okay though because we're not recording. Yeah, we should be okay, right? Does the Osmo Pocket 4P support volume gain control? Its internal audio recording automatically adjusts the volume gain based on the zoom ratio, but does not support customizable adjustments. When the Osmo Pocket 4P is connected to the Mic 2, Mic 3, Mic Mini 2, or a third-party external audio recording device, volume gain can be customized. I think I recall during that where I was zooming and the volume was going up and down. I wasn't a fan of that, so I'd much rather have consistent volume when zooming. Support screen off recording. What? What's that? Swipe down screen to access menu, go to menu and then select the time 5 centimeters of off when record. This can be set to, I don't know what that is. How do I use audio zoom with the Pocket 4P? It's enabled by default. Okay, accessories. How much operating time can the battery handle add to the Osmo Pocket 4P? When recording 1080p 24 video, the 4P can record up to 210 minutes on a single charge. When used with a fully charged battery handle, operating time can be extended by an additional 130 minutes. It could be worth getting. Yeah, so that would give you what, 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, something. Can the 4P's battery handle charge my phone? They must get that asked a lot, but the answer is no. No, it cannot. So the Pocket 3 battery handle can be used to charge the Pocket 4P. However, due to differences in USB port standards, compatibility may be limited in scenarios involving data transmission, etc. So maybe not. It supports the following accessories: handle with the 1/4-inch thread, battery handle, Mic 3 transmitter, wide angle lens, mini tripod, black mist filter, expansion adapter, ND filter set, carrying bag, USB-C to USB-C PD cable, fill light, among others. So it looks like the fill light does affect the overall operating time of the 4P. Depending on the level of brightness, it could reduce the operating time by 30 minutes. High brightness, so it consumes more power. Operating time is up to 156, reduced by, so it looks like it could be reduced by 30 minutes to an hour using the fill light. So it's something that you'd want to be very careful using, maybe only when you need it, otherwise you could just run through battery a lot faster. Does it have brightness, color, temperature adjustments? Yes, it does. So 3 adjustable levels for both brightness and color temperature. So we've got a low, medium, high, and also color temperature, warm, neutral, and cool. So 2800, 4000, and 5500 Kelvin. Oh, it would be nice if you could, vary those a little bit, but that's fine. ND filters. Okay, on to the other section where it says, when using the Osmo Pocket 4P as a webcam, what are the supported output frame rates and internal recording frame rates? So we have, let's say, 1080 1080p 24, 25, 30. Output specifications, 4K 24, 25, 30. Those are the main ones. Internal recording specifications, basically the same. Looks like you could go up to 60 frames. Parameters displayed at the bottom of the screen, such as webcam 1080p 30, indicate the currently selected resolution and frame rate for internal recording. Parameters, swipe up menu, indicate frame rate, blah blah blah. Okay, so if you're familiar with the Pocket 3, 4, then not too different here. Can I change the lens of the Pocket 4P? Huh? Change the lens. Both lenses on the Pocket 4P use a fixed design and cannot be replaced. However, you can add the ND filter or blackness filter on the lens as required. So they don't have a wide angle to make the 20mm even wider. Can Osmo Pocket 4P be connected to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi? Yes, it can. Is it waterproof? I'm thinking the answer is no. No. I think that was one critique I had about the 3, is that it wasn't waterproof, but I don't know if they'll ever be waterproof because, doesn't seem very high on the priorities. That is the DJi Pocket 4P. Overall, pretty cool. I would need some hands-on time with it to see what the zoom is actually like, but from what I can tell, pretty cool. Oh, wait a minute, let's go into buy now. So, let's see, 609 USD, that's for the standard combo. You get the 4P. Is that it? The fill light, carry pouch, and the handle with 1/4" thread. What else? The black mist filter, out of stock, so we don't know how much it is. Battery handle, 63 USD. ND filter set, don't know. Mic 3 transmitter, 87 USD. Mic Mini 2 transmitter, 31 USD. Got the expansion adapter. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. Right. So it allows you to attach it to things. 15 USD, not bad. Mini tripod, oh, that's separate now. 9 USD. A vlog combo gives you the Pocket 4P, fill light, Mini 2 transmitter, frame tap, mini tripod, carrying bag. Anything else in here? So there's all the doodads and extras. There is no creator combo. So 689. Huh? That seems like a no-brainer. So the standard is 609 versus 689. But a little bit more, you get quite a bit extra. I wonder why it's... I think it's sold out, right? So I've got the Pocket 4P, USB-C to USB-C cable, got the fill light, wrist strap, 1/4" thread, portable carrying pouch. And then with the vlog combo, the frame tap, I don't think it scrolls any further down. We got the magnetic charging cable off of the frame tap. DJi Mic Mini 2, we got the Mic Mini 2 charging cable, windscreen, magnetic front cover for the Mic Mini 2, and we got cover, obsidian black, oh, so different colors. Magnetic clip, magnet, so all these related to the mic, mini tripod, and then the pro carrying bag. So no creator combo, just vlog combo. I think if you were to get one, the vlog combo seems like the way to go. In the box, got all the doodads. Wait, is there a fill light? Yeah, fill light, frame tap, camera, yeah. So which is the best for you? Well, the Pocket 3 has come down quite a lot since even the Pocket 4 came out. So once the Pocket 4P comes out, Pocket 3 would go down maybe a little bit more. Could be worthwhile looking into it. What I like about these is that the 4P in particular gives you the extra zoom. So there have been times where I've been at an event like Pacifica where I wasn't able to zoom in on people on stage. I could have walked right up to the stage, blocking people's view of what's happening, and then the view for my viewers would have been better, but then kind of rude for everyone who was there trying to enjoy the performances. But with this, you could zoom in and get pretty good zoom too, with at least the 60mm equivalent. Now, I gotta be in maybe somewhere at the back, somewhere in the middle, anywhere except for right up to the stage, which I considered, but I did have some complaints as well about that. I can't even see anything. So that would solve that. What does concern me is the size of the head on the Pocket 4P. It looks quite a bit bigger than the 3 and the 4. Yeah, it's looking a bit more pro, a bit more professional. It stands out a little. But I'm looking at pictures, I'm looking at video, and I mean that. So, perhaps in real life, in your hands, it won't look so big. It kind of does. But for the advantages of what it brings, with the zoom and everything. Oh, wait a minute, there's two colors. Comes in white and black. Or dark grey. And you just click with that. I can't do white. It's too much. Stands out. They didn't mention that 2 different colors. Was there anything anything else? Yeah, we need to know what it's like for live streaming. Is it going to have any issues with that? Because there have been problems with the Action 5 Pro, the 6. I don't know about the Pocket 4. They did a really great job with the Action 4. Everything else has been a little rocky. They did roll out some firmware updates for the Action 6 that improved its live streaming capabilities. I think everyone was holding out for this one, the Pocket 4P, and they'll probably get the vlog combo when that's available. If you're in the US, you'll probably have the Extra Muse series of cameras instead, and I think what they did with the version of the 4P seem interesting, but I think I could see myself getting one of these eventually. I won't be a day one person. I do like the idea of being able to zoom, having that ability. I'm also just a really big fan of the Action 4. I can just grab that camera and throw it in my bag and head out, go live stream. I don't have to worry about being careful with it like the Pocket 3. I can just be a little rougher with it and not worry so much about it. Yeah, not having zoom is a pretty big one for me, and this is where, if in low light, let's say I want to live stream but it's suddenly a lot darker than I had planned, and I could live stream with something like this, or if there's an event on. So there are cases where I could see myself switching to this depending on the situation, and then for general good daylight live streams I'd use the Action 4 still. Yeah, that's it from me today. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you'll be getting one like yours. Alright, thanks guys. See you in the next one.